يلقى في هذا المكان. بس هيك.
Hands up if you can hear me, okay? I just want to make sure everyone at the back can hear me. Yeah, okay. So let me just get us a bit going, all right? We'll get going a little bit, yeah? So when I say free, free, you say? Palestine! Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine! So, my name's Faith. I'm a full-time psychotherapist and I'm the founder of Skate Safe Space. So we are really advocating towards preventing abuse in skateboarding, discrimination, prejudice, and we've been huge advocates about getting skateboarders activated and prepared to get political about stuff that genuinely means something to you, including the eradication of a whole indigenous people. And we've got these incredible panelists. Can we get a little round of applause for them, please? A little bit more, please. Just a little bit more. Yeah, thank you guys, thank you. And they're doing some really incredible work. Hi Greg.
What's up?
Okay, so tell us about your journey with SkatePal.
I started photographing a DIY community project for Hackney Bumps during lockdown, and I was a photographer. I was asked to document it. I never skated in my life. I ran out of reasons not to skate and started skating. And honestly changed my life. The trajectory of my life, never again the same. And SkatePal kind of associated with friends of Hackney Bumps, and there was an opportunity that came up. The universe threw up a signpost and I jumped at it and spent the summer in Palestine 2022 building a concrete skate park in Ramallah, and used all my free time to pursue like personal documentary photography, meeting people, traveling, educating myself, learning. Every single day was a school day, and just jumped in, and yeah, Palestine just changed my life forever, and just can't stop photographing there, so keep going back. Anywhere I can go with a camera, anywhere that will educate me and further my understanding of the world. And I've travelled and lived all over, but I'd never been to anywhere in the Middle East, and I knew that one day that was going to come. So this signpost came and I was like, this is it. So I just went. Never concrete mixed before, never welded before, and just thought I can learn on the job. I can provide SkatePal with a bunch of like campaign photography, and I can teach kids and I can do all this stuff. So I just jumped in and went, and it just felt right in that moment. So I'm glad I lent into my instincts and went.
What is your take on the skateboarding community and scene there, as someone who's been there and visited it multiple times and sort of been involved with it?
It's thriving, and it's like it's a really necessary scene for people to be able to channel all of their emotions into something that's not just sitting at home and being upset, you know, like their frustrations. So it's an amazing community in Palestine, and in the West Bank, which is the only place, I haven't travelled to Gaza, but in the West Bank, it's kids would travel between cities to go skate with each other. I spent a lot of time in Asira and in Ramallah, and met people from Bethlehem and visited skate parks all around, and people would just hop around from city to city, and it was just this really amazing scene of kids just and young adults supporting each other and excited to meet each other, and like when the summer comes around, they're just excited for the summer programs to be able to hang out and meet each other, and it's a really, really cool scene, and yeah, it's something that's needed over there, you know, for kids to be able to express themselves and push themselves and support each other and show up for each other. So it's really cool. I just got back from Palestine a couple of weeks ago, and unfortunately this summer there's no skating happening, because it's seen as kind of disrespectful to be in the streets skating when the whole country is mourning. You know, there's no loud music for weddings, there's no bars, there's no parties. It's a really intense time of mourning. So there's no skating happening, which was sad to see. But I caught up with a lot of the kids that I've met over the years, and they're channeling themselves into like music projects. They're going climbing, a lot of art. So they're finding ways to do things, but it was kind of heartbreaking to go back this summer and there not be any skating happening. But I can absolutely understand why. I mean, skating is quite a public thing if you're doing it in the streets. So it's not something that people want to see. You know, if you're in a state of mourning and sadness and grief and anger, like, and you don't want to hear kids flying down the street skateboarding. So I get it, but I was kind of worried that kids didn't have an outlet. But you know, as skateboarders, we all know we're creative people, so there's always another outlet. And they found that other outlet in different projects, but yeah, that is currently what's happening, and I'd love for it to like happen next summer. The skate sessions start again, but yeah, we'll see.
Okay, hello Petra. Everyone give a round of applause for Petra.
Okay, Petra, so I've got a couple of questions for you. You organised a project at Clevedon Skate Park?
Woo! Trying to.
Oh, sorry, you're organising a project at Clevedon Skate Park. Please, could you tell us more about that?
Yeah, I feel like that probably sounds like it should be straightforward, but actually my story also links back to SkatePal. Because in Clevedon, which is near Bristol, we've got a very old, rusty and ply, you know, like the proper old school skate parks, which is well past its sell-by date. Rachel was actually involved with the original inception of it, so obviously it's not that old. But I haven't lived there too long, and when we realised that it was definitely going to be no more very soon, we realised that we needed a new park. But my interest in skateboarding came from my dad, really, because my dad was from Essaera. And when he saw SkatePal set up Palestine's first skate park in Essaera, which when he lived there was just a tiny village that he'd been ethnically cleansed to at the age of 4 in the first Nakba, he was just blown away. Like, it was super emotional. He was very, very excited to see what was happening. He was really proud. He would share the videos. At the same time, his grandson was learning to skate. So he kind of joined all the dots for us and gave us all a massive passion for skateboarding and for SkatePal. And I just went down a huge wormhole for life now, I think, about what skateboarding can do. Not just here, although I can see... Did everyone watch the films that were on earlier? Yeah, I mean, the parallels are huge. We're trying to build a concrete park, and it's really interesting seeing them on the film saying, you know, like, their dreams are parks everywhere. Like, actually, that's probably our dream here too. Right? They're not dissimilar dreams. Like, the whole thing about it being culturally difficult for girls is not really that different here. The whole thing about skateboarding not really being seen as a true sport, it's only just got into the Olympics, and we might all have slightly mixed views on how we feel about that anyway, and what that means to an underground sport that is part art form and part sport. But for me, the passion with setting up a skate park in Clevedon is completely interwoven in my own way with there being a skate park in Essaera, and how that's mimicked all over the world. It's the same things it can give to kids here as it can there, and adults. So that is my project journey.
And that's incredible, isn't it? Because it goes to show that, like, within skateboarding, we actually do have this complete unification that transcends borders, that transcends other countries.
Yeah.
Okay. But you were telling us about your project at Clevedon.
So I suppose
really
in some ways
inspiring.
we've done lots of different things. We've had these guys have done coaching workshops, we've shown films, we've had exhibitions, panel discussions. We've done a lot of short films from people who are doing projects in other countries, because I like the idea that when you've got a room full of people that think they are like we were probably talking about earlier, that they're just into skateboarding, that then you can push a slightly more political film on them, because otherwise you're just preaching to the converted. So a lot of like short films tagged onto a feature film, and like zine making projects, and just trying to get people discussing mental health and skateboarding. So we've been doing all of that work for a long time, and we still haven't got a concrete skate park, but we are still working on it.
And there's still time.
Incredible. Thank you. Okay, hi Rachel. Everyone say hi Rachel.
Hi, Rachel. Hi. So, much like what I asked Petra, I suppose my first question is, can you tell us a little bit about what Skaters Against Genocide do and your involvement with that project?
Somehow we came together in a space in East London with their friends to make banners and signs, and that was the first time that me and my partner from Keep Rolling Project had met Skater Uktis. They're really the backbone behind us going on the marches and have, created the Instagram and, posted about every march. And I have to admit that it started off, like every march is emotional, but when you're with a group of people and you're together and I quite started to enjoy going for the marches because I was walking with them and it was very therapeutic when you're trying to process everything that you're seeing on Instagram and shout out the hugs that you get from Anna. And I think that's what the marches do, where we can talk about how we're feeling, we can shout with the chants and get all of the emotion out that comes with what we know about what's going on and we feel powerless about.
So, for me, I'm always really curious about how people, that kind of turning point in your mentality where you turn this is wrong as a thought process, this is wrong, into I need to do something about it, I need to take action. How can I as an individual take action? So, kind of what was your process when you figured that out?
So I have to be honest, I've been volunteering with SkatePal in about 2016 after the Assyria Park was built in 2015, and I've been out twice since then, so 3 times in total, and I've never left Palestine feeling like I could do something about their situation. I've always just had this dream that one day I will be there taking down the wall that separates between Israel and Palestine. I think this was just this massive eye-opener where I found people who weren't believing what they were reading in the media, which the media was very, very bad after October the 7th, and if you said anything you had to condemn Hamas first. And so when you found people and you realised there was these marches happening, and on the marches I met people that have been marching for decades. There was old people coming up to Parliament and I would have conversations with them and they would tell me we were here 50 years ago marching, and so it just kind of feels like, okay, now is the time, we cannot let this go, we have to do it, we cannot give up, we cannot stop marching, and hopefully with the international court rulings, that's one step in the right direction. So the point is that even though I visited the West Bank on many occasions, I came out as a skateboarder, and occasionally you'd meet another person who'd volunteer for SkatePal, but never did we think that we could join forces and march together. Okay, why won't you march with me? Why won't you march with me through streets that echo with the call of pain, to stand with those whose cries ascend and march for justice hand in hand? I've skated roads where walls arise, saw children caged in silent cries. In Palestine, where freedom dies, shattered by oppressive ties. The world is judged, yet justice fails. No sanctions come, no leader jailed. Equality of distant shore, starvation used despite international law. In memory of the brave who fell, aid workers promised safe passage, met Israel's shell. Their hearts were pure, their hands were clean, ammunition tore through, and truth now seen. How many more must lose their lives before the world awakes, agrees that every child that barely thrives deserves to live in love and peace? So march with me, let's join our hands in solidarity for Palestine and Gaza's lands. It's never too late to take a stand, to walk for justice, reclaim their land. For every child, for every tear, for every dream that longs to be, my friend, the time is now, right here. Why won't you come and march with me? Thank you.
The thing that I really notice when I meet anyone that has actually been to the West Bank is they never come back the same, because they have all seen, like, the veil has been totally lifted and no one, not one person, visits the West Bank or Gaza and comes away thinking, maybe Israel is right, maybe it is a conflict, maybe there are two sides. As soon as anyone has been, they then have stories to share. And while I would advocate and want anyone to do direct activism, and BDS is massively important at Work South Africa, there is huge importance in storytelling and sharing stories. So just even saying, like, you've met people that went and skated in the West Bank, and actually it's not what you're showing. Just those little stories that you then come home and tell your families, like, this is what this experience was, this is how these people live. We've been silenced for over 76 years. Storytelling is massively important, and you can never belittle the power of spreading truth.
Let's do it up.